Imagine being trapped underwater, tangled in hundreds of yards of rope, slowly losing the fight to survive, and then suddenly, a pair of human hands cuts you free. You break the surface. You breathe again. You're alive. Now imagine 1 year later, you see those same hands again. Would that animal remember you? Most people assume animals just move on. That they forget. That rescue means nothing beyond the moment it happens. But science and some of the most extraordinary real stories ever captured on camera say something completely different. Today, we're answering one of the most emotional questions in all of animal behavior. Do animals actually recognize the humans who saved their lives? Stay with me because what you're about to hear will change the way you look at every animal you've ever met. Let's start in the cold waters off the coast of California. It's 2011. A humpback whale, one of the largest creatures on Earth, has been found tangled in a massive web of crab trap lines near the Farallon Islands. The ropes are wrapped around her tail, her fins, and cutting into her body. She can barely move. Diver James Mosquito and his team jump into the water. For over an hour, they work carefully around her, cutting rope after rope, moving slowly, trying not to panic her further. One wrong movement from a 40-ton animal and a diver could be killed. Finally, the last rope falls away. And then something happened that none of the divers expected. The whale didn't leave. Instead, she began swimming in slow circles around each diver one by one. And then she did something that James Mosquito said he will never forget for the rest of his life. She swam directly to him and gently nudged him with her head. Then she swam to the next diver, and the next. Marine biologists noted that this behavior is not typical of humpback whales. They don't approach divers. They don't linger. Something about that interaction was different, and it has never been fully explained by instinct alone. Now let's go to Chicago. August 1996. A 3-year-old boy climbs over a railing at the Brookfield Zoo's gorilla enclosure and falls 18 feet, landing unconscious on the concrete below. The crowd watching begins to scream. Zoo staff rush toward the exhibit. Everyone braces for the worst. But before any human could reach him, a western lowland gorilla named Binta Jua walked over. She leaned down, picked the unconscious boy up with extraordinary gentleness, cradled him in her arms like a mother holds an infant, and carried him slowly to the enclosure door where zookeepers could safely reach him. She kept the other gorillas away the entire time. The boy survived. He made a full recovery. Experts who studied Binta Jua's behavior pointed to something significant in her background. She had been raised by humans, bottle-fed as an infant. She had been shown care, patience, and gentleness thousands of times in her life. And when the moment came, she gave it back to a child she had never seen before. At the elephant sanctuary in Hohenwald, Tennessee, there lived an elephant named Tarra. Tarra had spent years performing in circuses before being rescued and brought to the sanctuary. She was gentle, curious, and by all accounts lonely, the way elephants who've lived hard lives often are. Then one day, a stray dog wandered onto the property. Nobody knows why the two bonded, but they did instantly and completely. They ate together, slept near each other, and spent their days side by side across the sanctuary's 2,700 acres. Staff had never seen anything like it. Then Bella was injured and had to be kept inside the sanctuary's office building for 3 weeks to recover. Every single day during those 3 weeks, Tarra walked from wherever she was on the property and stood outside that building, waiting, not eating much, not engaging with the other elephants, just waiting. When Bella was finally brought outside for the first time, Tarra approached her slowly. She reached out her trunk and gently touched Bella's bandaged leg, almost as if she was examining the wound, checking on her. Sanctuary co-founder Carol Buckley, who had worked with elephants for over 25 years, said she had never witnessed that level of devoted, targeted concern from one animal toward another. So what is actually happening in these moments? For a long time, scientists were uncomfortable using words like gratitude or loyalty to describe animal behavior. It was considered unscientific. That position has shifted dramatically. Dr. Frans de Waal, one of the world's most respected primatologists, spent decades proving through research that empathy, grief, and the capacity to recognize and respond to kindness are not uniquely human. His study showed that chimpanzees console each other after conflicts, that elephants return to the bones of their dead and touch them gently with their trunks, that rats will work to free a trapped companion even when there is no reward for doing so. Research from the University of Washington, led by Dr. John Marsloff, demonstrated that crows can recognize and remember individual human faces for years. They distinguish between people who have harmed them and people who haven't, and they pass that information on to their offspring. What's emerging from all of this research is a profound idea. The ability to remember kindness and to respond to it may be one of the oldest survival tools in the animal kingdom. Animals that could identify safe humans had a better chance of surviving near human settlements. Over thousands of years, that recognition became deeply embedded. So when a humpback whale circles back to the diver who freed her, she isn't performing. She isn't confused. She may simply be doing what every creature on Earth that has ever been held by another knows how to do instinctively. She's acknowledging it. Here's what I want to leave you with. Every story we talked about today happened because a human made a choice to stop, to help, to stay even when it was dangerous, even when there was no guarantee it would matter. And in every single case, the animal responded in a way that went beyond what anyone expected. We spend so much time asking whether animals can think, whether they can feel, whether they're truly aware of what's happening around them. Maybe we've been asking the wrong question. Maybe the better question is this: if animals can remember the humans who saved them, what do they remember about the rest of us? Now I want to hear from you. Do you believe what Binta Jua did for that little boy was instinct or something more? Do you think Tarra the elephant was truly waiting for her friend, or is that just how we want to see it? Tell me in the comments. I genuinely want to know where you stand on this, and if you've ever had a personal experience where an animal seemed to recognize or respond to something you did for it. Share it below. The most powerful stories I'll feature in my next video. And if this moved you, even slightly share it with someone who loves animals. You never know who needs to see it today. See you in the next one.